Hey, welcome back to the Life of Freedom YouTube channel. My name is Salvador Brigman. On this channel, we talk about how to level up your life, how to reach your full potential, whether it's growing your income, building your wealth, having the relationships that you want in your life, growing with joy, spirituality, all of these different things we talk about on this YouTube channel. I'm really claiming freedom in your life. So that being said, in today's video, I want to talk about a couple different ways in which to level up your life, and also more importantly, what is holding you back from this leveling up process. We're really going to be examining your life, and getting into that in today's video, as well as some of the tactics and strategies that you can actually apply immediately to see results show up in your life. Okay, man, so let's get started. I talk about a lot of things on this channel when it comes to business, when it comes to podcasting, when it comes to writing books, which I've written 10 books, right, in my different niches that are out there. I have other YouTube channel out there. I have tons of different stuff which I'm doing, but really today, I wanna focus on you. And that's kind of getting into what you need to do in order to get to where you wanna be. Because wherever you are right now isn't where you were meant to be. Let's be frank. There are things that you want, whether that's success, results, things that you wanna show up in your life that aren't currently there. And it can be extremely frustrating because I've been trying so hard, I've been working hard, and I don't even necessarily know what I need to do to get to the next step because I've tried things and they've failed. So let's go through a couple of different key lessons and some takeaways, how it can be applied to your life, so that way you can actually have those results show up in your life. The first thing is that you need to be willing to open your eyes and to change your mindset. Now, kind of want to think a little bit about your childhood. I really want to talk a little bit about you growing up and the different things that you've tried to achieve in your life. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in the situation in the past where you look back and you're like, I can't believe that actually happened. I can't believe that I did that. I made that decision. Maybe it was you were dating someone and you're like, my gosh, I was just off my rocker. I was just so enamored with something about that person. I didn't recognize all of these other traits or all of these other qualities. Or maybe you're at a job and all of a sudden you became disillusioned, right? And you're like, you know what? I thought I wanted to do this, but what I realized is that no, this is not the farthest thing from the thing that I want to do, right? And you woke up and you're almost like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm doing this. And all of a sudden you decide to move into a different career path, right? What's coming to wake up to yourself? And you're like, you know what? I just realized that I actually engaged in this really negative habit. Maybe you hit rock bottom and you're like, I got to change this now. And I just ignored it for so long in my life. That is what I call a mindset shift. That's a mindset change. What was happening is that you almost had this mirage, right, that you were looking at, a lens that you were looking at through life, and you didn't notice all of these other things, right? You didn't notice maybe some qualities about that person. You didn't notice some things about that opportunity at a job. Or you didn't notice the ways in which you were self-sabotaging. And all of a sudden, once you began to open and widen your gaze, right? Open your view, become more aware, become more mindful, right? Once you started to do that, then you started to notice more and more. You started to actually see the world for the way that it really is, right? So this is what I call, again, really changing your mindset, becoming more open-minded, and really understanding the things that are happening, why these things are showing up in your life, and being willing to actually look at it with 20/20 vision and not this distorted lens or this mirage which you've been looking at before. I gotta tell you, this is one of the hardest things to do, right? Changing your mindset, changing your focus is one of the most difficult things to do. And it also kind of plays into my next key, which I'm gonna be talking about, and the ways to level up your life. But the first is that you need to at least recognize that and be willing to improve, upgrade, and even care about your mindset, care about the thoughts that are entering your mind, caring about the things that you're actually listening to, the things that you're actually reading, caring about your mindset, because that mindset is what's putting you in a really incredible state, which is the mindset of a champion, which is actually going to allow you to level up your life. So you got to care about that, number one. Once I started to actually care about my mindset, I started to read the books that could move me forward. I actually started to listen to the podcasts, which delivered incredible advice to help me with things like business. I started to actually watch videos related to fitness. I started to see results and progress there. The more that you actually do this and care about your mindset, the more you're primed for success. But the number two thing is that you got to be aware of the influences, the people that you let into your life. Because a lot of the times, the people that you let into your life, the people that you listen to, are actually the ones that are keeping you from leveling up to higher and higher goals, bigger and bigger opportunities. The people in your life are the ones that are controlling your mindset, right? They're the ones that are influencing your mindset. Now, for you, think about an example of someone who maybe told you that you're not good at something, or an example of someone who told you that you're a certain way, or that you could never do this, or that you could never whatsoever get those kinds of results or see that success in your life. And think about another example where maybe you actually proved that person wrong, or maybe you realize that that person doesn't know you at all, and you actually changed your view of them. You had a different mindset maybe. You started to actually see that, you know what, I actually can do these things. Or you know what, I've actually just been beating myself down. Or I just haven't had that confidence because the people in my life have been holding me back, have been saying negative things about me, have been really demoralizing me. And when you start to actually consider that, and you start to ignore those people, all of a sudden, it's almost like a weight is lifted off of your shoulders, and you can actually move forward at a rapid pace towards your goals. So this could take many different forms, right? This could be friends, this could be teachers, this could be family members, this could be people, previous bosses, this could be significant others, spouses, etc. Sometimes people are great and they're incredible and you can have great experiences, but other times when it comes to your goals, the things you're trying to level up at, they can sometimes be feeding you negative energy, toxic energy, which is preventing you from leveling up in your life. A great example of this for me is I had a family member one time who told me that I would never become a full-time blogger. I would never be able to make money with my writing. And I really eventually had to just get a real job. And if I actually believed that, and at the time I did, then I started to just no longer take as much action. And then finally I was able to confront that. And I was like, you know what? I gotta do this. I gotta plow forward. I gotta ignore this. The more that I ignored that, I actually moved towards the things that I wanted, the better I became as a writer. I eventually was able to go full-time with my job in 2014 as a blogger, and then able to grow a podcast, be able to grow a YouTube channel, be able to then have teammates, be able to grow a coaching business, be able to grow a digital marketing agency, right? I've been able to do so much because I didn't listen to this person, right? So sometimes, again, people can hold you back from leveling up in your success in life. The next, number 3 tip in order to level up your life in whatever area, and again, this could be relates to your income, this could be relates to building wealth, this could be having more joy, spirituality, this could be even losing weight, having fitness, all those things, whatever results you're trying to achieve, whatever you want to have show up in your life, you got to do this next thing, which you got to become a student of the game. Anyone who's been successful at an incredible level and has continued to level up. For example, comedians, they're studying the game all the time. They're going out there to shows. They're studying what works, what doesn't work. They're trying things out, right? The more you become a student of the game, the more likely you are to level up and become successful, because all of a sudden you discover what's already been proven to work in a particular industry, in a particular discipline, in a particular approach towards trying to get a goal. You need to become a student of the game in terms of listening to mentors, in terms of reading books, in terms of listening to podcasts, and learning the strategy and the tactics that could move you forward in life. Once you start to do that as well, you start to see the world differently. So for example, for me, once I started to learn more and more about marketing, how to actually market products online, how to build things, how to get YouTube subscribers, all those different things. My other channel has more than 30,000 subscribers. I started to look at YouTube much differently. I started to look at branding very differently. When I would buy new products, I could actually see and understand the marketing, understand why I made certain behaviors, certain choices in my life, those different things. So when you actually study a discipline, you also notice different things about that. You start to spot opportunities. When I started to learn about real estate, right, all of a sudden I started to spot opportunities that I could never imagine before, because before I didn't know anything about real estate, right? When I started to learn about real estate, then I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually a really great deal. The cash on cash return is incredible for this, right? This is an incredible opportunity. This is way undervalued. If I didn't know anything though about real estate, I can't make that judgment. I can't see with those eyes. My gaze is very narrow. By learning, by studying success, studying the game, I widen my gaze and I can see things with a different set of eyes. Number 4 is that you need to be fanatical. You gotta be obsessed with this growth, with this leveling up experience. You need to really be single-minded and focused. And that kind of gets a lot of flack, honestly, because we have a lot of people out there like, you need a balanced life. You need to make sure you're doing this and that. You need some free time. Why would you be so obsessed about this thing? It seems weird in traditional society to be obsessed over something. But if you think about anyone who had a discovery, Thomas Edison developing the light bulb, he was freaking obsessed. He was discovering all the different ways that it didn't work to get to the one way which it did. If you think about great companies like at Apple, right? Plowing through so many prototypes, trying to figure out so many different ways to invent this new phone. They were obsessed about creating something that would change the world. And even that's world leaders thinking about Gandhi, thinking about Martin Luther King. You don't think that this was on their mind to have a societal level change every single day? They were obsessed with making meaning, with moving forward, with leveling up, and also leveling up their brothers, their family, leveling up the people that they care about, right? So you really need to be obsessed about the process. I am willing to level up. I'm willing to do what I need to, whether that's reading affirmations every single day to put yourself in a good mindset, whether that's listening to people, listening to things that can inspire you on a regular basis, learning the strategy, putting in extra time, really becoming single-minded, obsessed focus. This is the way in which you can level up in a very short period of time. Because when you're not obsessed, you're distracted. Your attention is all over different things. You make a little bit of progress, maybe year after year, and all of a sudden you realize, you know what? Oh gosh, my attention, my energy was drawn into so many different areas that I didn't really see success in a big way in any of them. When you focus your attention like a laser, right? That thing is super hot, that thing is super focused, and all of a sudden you start to see rapid fire progress when you really become obsessed with that process of personal development, of self-growth, and making that number one in your life. I want you to also think about an experience in your life when you actually achieved something. What if you graduated from high school? What if you graduated from college? What if you got some kind of a certificate or a degree? What if you achieved something when it comes to a sports team that you are participating on? What if you achieved something when it came to an artistic discipline, right? Some kind of thing that you achieved that in the past you could be proud of if you wanted to, even if it's getting an A on a particular paper, or even being able to show up and go to a job that you didn't think you could do and being able to master that to a little bit in a way that surprised you. Think about something that you've achieved. In order to achieve that, you had to be focused. You had to be obsessed. You had to be learning all the things that we talk about on this video, right? So being obsessed is the most important thing when it comes to leveling up your life. Okay, so tip number 5. This is actually the most critical when it comes to wanting to level up your life. So if you really want to do this, you got to listen to what I'm about to mention to you. And that's when it comes to this, I'm going to actually start this with a statement, okay? When you are trying to really understand who you are, you sometimes need to let go of who you are. So what do I mean by that, right? When you're trying to understand who you are, you sometimes need to let go of who you are. Now, I kind of first started to understand this and realize this when I actually started to wake up to what I wanted to have happen in my life. And what I started to realize is that so many of the things that are put into our mind are put into mind by other people. Limitations are put into our mind by family, by friends, by teachers, by commercials, by society, by all these things are put into our mind that we can or can't do certain things, that certain things are possible or that certain things aren't. And all of a sudden, once you expose yourself, for example, to success stories of how people are being successful, let's just say as a YouTuber, right? Then you start to realize, wait, maybe it is possible, right? So a lot of the times you make this image of who you are that isn't actually true. It's just put into your mind by other people. Those limitations are put there by others, right? And as well, sometimes the things that you think that you want are actually just put there by commercials, are actually just put there by films that you've watched, by music videos, by musicians, right? The song lyrics, all that kind of stuff. You start to realize that so much of who you are and so much of what actually makes you up is actually very, I'd say, poignant when it comes to Zen philosophy, right? And Zen Buddhism. This is actually something where you start to understand like all of these things are controlling what my mind is thinking about on a daily basis. And when you actually take time to be more introspective, to go deep and to understand what really do you want at this point in your life, you might realize that I'm growing into a different direction than I was before. And I kind of like it, right? I'm growing into a direction that I actually want to go into. I'm growing and becoming someone who I want to be. And maybe not the thing that my parents thought that I wanted to be, or that my lover thought that I wanted to be, right? Or these different ways in which you thought it yourself previously. So my tip number 5 to really level up is that sometimes to become who you want to be, you have to let go of who you are. Now that's very difficult. It's very hard. It requires that you actually have that open mind, and it requires that you think more boldly about who you want to become. But it's a journey, right? And really becoming who you are, it requires that you sacrifice who you've been. You need to level up, become more, become stronger, right? Become more focused, become more certain, become more kind, become more compassionate. The qualities that you want to have aren't yet in your life. So it's only natural that if you're trying to climb the ladder of success, you gotta let go of the things which you're desperately holding on to. And you need to become someone who's greater than you are. In the same way that you're almost like shedding, if you're like a turtle, I guess, you're shedding your shell, right? Or, if you're trying to metamorphosize into something much more grand, you're going from that little caterpillar into a butterfly. You become something different in nature, but you become something much more beautiful, much more aligned with who you are, with your soul, with what it is you're trying to accomplish, right? In your life, what you want to have show up in your life. So that's my number 5 tip, is that in order to level up, and along with doing some of the other keys which we mentioned on this video, you do need to be willing to embrace that future version of yourself into moving and really considering, is where I am and the way I think about the world, the things that I am now, is that really who I want to be? Or am I willing to grow, am I willing to expand and become more? So I got a great free resource down below where you can actually discover some of the easy ways in which you can grow your consciousness. And by that, I mean just your understanding of the world, your understanding of yourself. How can you level up in the ways that we talked about? How you grow and reach your full potential as a person? How can you be more successful and get the results that you want to? Again, it's all about broadening that scope, broadening that vision, being willing to take in more. And some of the things I talk about in this free list, which you can check out down below, will help you do that and help you do that much, much faster than if you try to figure this all out yourself. So I hope that you enjoy that valuable resource down below in the description of this video. But that being said, give me a thumbs up if you like this channel. Come subscribe as well. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this and you feel a little more inspired to go out there, to stake your claim, to be more successful in your life. My name is Salvador Brigman, and I will see you next time.